So since the release of the brand new box, I feel like there's been one art type that's been getting completely overlooked. Traptrix. Now look, I know this art type skill isn't quite as strong as some of the other skills we've been getting recently, but just because a skill isn't adding 10 cards to your hand, putting 50 cards in your extra deck, granting you 7 billion life points, curing cancer, solving world hunger, getting you a waifu, discovering time travel, and probably hardest of all, convincing a Yu-Gi-Oh player they should probably be taking a shower every once in a while, just because a skill isn't solving all the world's most difficult problems at the click of a button, doesn't mean the art type's going to be bad. And let me go prove it to you. So here's today's deck list. But apparently 40% of people watching this aren't even subscribed to the channel. So if you guys are new around here and find yourself enjoying this kind of content and think you want to see some more videos or some more deck lists from me in the future, please do remember to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel down below. Alright, let's get into this deck list. So first things first, why exactly are we choosing to play 30 cards for this deck list? Well, in my opinion, after testing it out and trying a few different lists, I found that playing Amazement with Traptrix was just a way better way of playing it, as Amazement just make any trap art type seem a hell of a lot stronger by giving it a significant boost and giving it an extra boss monster to play with the art type. But the problem with playing Amazement in Traptrix specifically is the skill forces you to play 12 Traptrix monsters, which is a heck of a lot of monsters to play. So if I wanted to play the Amazement stuff as well, play their Searcher spell, and play an adequate amount of trap cards equal to about half the deck list, I basically had to play 30 cards. So that's why I'm playing 30 card. If I want to play Amazement and Traptrix in the same deck list, it's just sort of what has to happen. So let me brief you on the Traptrix monsters, starting off with Myrmeleo. This thing when it is normal summoned can add one of your whole trap cards from deck to hand, and when it is special summoned, it can destroy your opponent's back row. Then we have Mantis. This thing on normal summon can add a Traptrix monster from deck to hand, and as a quick effect can target your own back row and return it to hand, which is a very good effect at dodging your opponent's removal, and of course it's very good for some other reasons as well, we'll talk about in just a second. Then we have your Atrax. This card when it's on the field allows you to use your trap hole cards from your hand, and it makes it so your opponent cannot negate your normal trap card effects. Then we have Dionaea. This thing on normal summon can revive your Traptrix monsters, and on special summon can revive your trap hole cards. But keep in mind, your trap holes when they are set will be banished during the end phase of your next turn. So a good way to avoid those trap holes being banished is just use your Mantis effect to take those trap holes, add them to hand, then you can reset them, and they won't be banished. Then we have your Genlisea. This card when it's on the field, you can simply tribute it, take a trap hole card from your graveyard and a trap hole from your deck, and set both of them on your field. Then we have your Vesiculo. This card you can take your set cards and send them to the graveyard to special summon it from the hand, and additionally when it's in the graveyard, if you have nothing set, you can take one of your trap cards and put them on your field. So this is another good reason why we use the effect of your Mantis, as a good way to clear up your back row and make sure your field's empty is to return one of your trap cards to hand, then you can activate the effect of the card in the graveyard, take the trap card and put it on the field, just a nice little way to recover some trap cards. Moving on to the extra deck, we have two Traptrix monsters, starting off with the most important one, your Rafflesia. Alright, this card is unaffected by trap effects whilst has exceeds material. Traptrix monster you control except Traptrix Rafflesia cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Your opponent cannot target Traptrix monster you control except Rafflesia with card effects. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can attach an exceeds material from this card and send one whole normal trap card that meets the activation conditions from your deck to the graveyard. This effect becomes the trap card's effect when that card is activated. So a good way to use this card is simply to put a bunch of trap holes in your deck list of various different kinds, and whenever you need them, whenever the situation comes up, you can activate this card's effect and just use that trap hole effect. Which is why we're playing the Bottomless, we're playing your Floodgate, we're playing your Nightmare, and of course we're playing the new one, your Time Space Trap Hole, where when your opponent special summons a monster or monsters from the hand or extra deck, you can shuffle those monsters back into the deck, then lose 1,000 life points for each monster returned. So those are all the good sort of trap holes we're playing with this deck. And the final Traptrix monster is your Allomerus. Alright, this card's unaffected by char effects whilst has exceeds material. You can only use one of the following effects once per turn. You can attach 2 materials from this card, special summon one level 4 insect or plant type monster from your graveyard. Very useful of course considering all your Traptrix have nice little bonus effects when they're special summoned. If an opponent's monster leaves the field because of your card effect and is now in the graveyard or banished, except during the damage step, you can attach a material from this card, target one of them, special summon it to your field. Got a really nice replay using this, as you'll see in the gameplay. It's a very nice powerful effect, but isn't used as often as the Rafflesia, of course. Moving on to the skill for this deck list, we've got Traptrix Ground, and this skill has two effects. The first one is, once per turn during your main phase, you can play one Traptrix monster from your hand straight to your field. So keep in mind, this isn't a normal or a special summon, you're simply just putting it straight on the field. Your opponent doesn't get to respond to this, you don't trigger the effects of your normal or special summons for your Traptrix, you're just placing it straight onto the field, and your opponent gets no chance to respond to it, which makes it real easy to go into your various different Xyz monsters, and also makes it real easy to give yourself or give your opponent a surprise Exciton Knight straight to the field. Because your normal summon, if your opponent does nothing about it, you activate your skill, place the card on your field, your opponent doesn't get to respond to that, instantly go into your Exciton Knight, and it's already too late for your opponent before you get to board wipe the field. So a nice little shocking play you can do to your opponent that might just surprise them. Alright, then we have the second effect. Once per duel during your main phase, if it is the second turn or turn 2 and onward, you can send one Traptrix monster or whole normal trap card from your hand to the graveyard, add a Treacherous from outside of your deck to your deck, then add a Traptrix monster or whole normal trap card from your deck to your hand. So basically a good way to search for any of your Traptrix in your deck list. You can do things like activate your skill, discard a copy of any of your Traptrix monsters, search for a Dionaea, normal summon Dionaea, revive, go into an Xyz monster. You can also, which is the reason we're playing 3 Atrax, because you can just place this thing on the field without your opponent being able to respond to it, you can place it on the field, use the effects of your skill to search for that Treacherous they put in the deck list, instantly activate the Treacherous going second, and you can pop 2 cards in your opponent's field before they get to respond to anything. They can only respond when their cards are about to die, so that's why I'm playing 3 copies of this card. I'm not super convinced on 3 copies of this, but I didn't really see a whole lot of value in the other ones, outside of maybe more copies of Dionaea. So if you want to play something like more Dionaeas in the deck, I'm completely fine with that as well. But for now, I was just playing this, so feel free to experiment with that one. I think just playing 3 copies of this and 3 copies of this is the only optimal ones. The rest is just sort of whatever you feel like playing. And we're getting a bit sidetracked now, but that's basically the effects of the skill. As for the rest of the deck list, you've probably all seen it before, so I won't bother going through it, but if you haven't seen the cards, don't worry, you'll see them during the gameplay anyway. So without further ado, let's get into some gameplay. Alright, so today I've got 6 replays to share with you guys, all of which were taken from inside Kia Games just before the season reset, and I'm not gonna lie, there are some banger replays in here. I think you guys are probably going to enjoy some of these replays, they are hella fun to watch. So I think people have been just drastically underestimating just how good this art type is. I'm not saying it's going to be the next top tier meta contender or anything like that, but most people saw this skill and just rid off the art type as being completely worthless, which is just not true whatsoever, as you'll see from these replays. This deck can completely slap, so let's check it out. Alright, so I'm against a Blue Eyes player first, of course playing Yugi for some reason instead of Kaiba. But anyway, so using my ticket during my turn to search for my boss monster, sending my 2 cards and passing. He activates his Dragon Spirit of White. Unfortunately, he's a lucky bastard and he targets the trap card, which is a little annoying. If he targeted the spell card, he would have wasted it, but whatever. Using the time ticket during my opponent's turn allows me to add a Search Attraction trap directly from my deck, which I can then activate whenever I feel like it. Alright. Grabs his Successor Soul. Goes to the battle phase, can use my trap on his card, summon my boss monster. He swaps out the Spirit of Light, which just triggers my boss monster to give him a trap card equipped to his monster, which can then flip face down. This card can then banish the trap cards from my graveyard to pop my opponent's cards. Using Dionaea to revive the trap trick, and my opponent just concedes from there. Alright, so a bit of a quick replay that one. If you're not too familiar with how the Amazement art type works, it may have looked a little bit confusing, but don't worry, you'll see plenty of Amazement gameplay throughout this video, so you'll get the hang of what exactly is going on. Basically, whenever I use a trap card or my opponent uses a trap card, I summon out a really big boss monster man from my hand, and if my opponent ever decides to special summon, I get to just equip trap cards from my deck straight to my opponent's cards, which is hella good. One of them allows me to flip things face down, the other trap card allows me to banish things, so you'll see. Only banishes until the end phase though. Alright, so up against a rocket player. So this replay has a very interesting ending because I had 10 seconds left on my timer, so it makes me look a little bit silly, but yeah, you'll see what I mean. Alright, so my opponent's going to set up a flip face down. Goes to the end phase, summons out the card from the deck, or from the deck. Alright, time ticket, searching for my boss monster. My goddamn Arklekino, or however you pronounce this thing, Mr. Administrator over here. Alright, normal summoning the Mantis to get a search. My opponent's going to flip face down, which is a little annoying because it means we can't do an XC summon. But we can use our skill to just place this dude on the field, and we're going to pass the turn. Tracer effect, I can now Ice Dragon's Prison, so thank you for randomly using this thing early. Alright, because I use a trap card, I can summon my boss monster. I'm going to use my Paleo to flip his card face down, so of course you can't flip my boss monster face down. Immediately synchro summoned into a copy of the Void Ogre Dragon with no cards in hand. But thankfully, I can just equip a trap card straight to it, and it's already activated, so I don't think he's even able to negate it even if he wanted to. So then I can just use the effect of it to flip that new card that you just put on the field face down. Alright, summons back his Tracer and passes. So activating the effect of Arklekino, banishing a trap card to pop one of the face downs. Not going to target a face up because he just chained his quick play monster to it. Making a Raff. Swinging in, and then my opponent's going to activate a Canadia Engrave. We summon back our own Canadia. Tracer pops his own field spell. I don't know why you would do that. Floodgate trap holds his monster. For a launch. Has to pass, basically doing absolutely nothing because he can't really do anything. He could have like flipped this thing face up and popped it with his Tracer maybe. I don't know. A bit of a weird play there. And now this turn looks incredibly strange because I had like no time left. It took me a while to think up what I wanted to do for the turn, so yeah, it's gonna look kind of strange. Returning my trap hole to hand so I can banish my Vesiculo because I have no back row, setting a trap hole. Summoning this, making a driver. There was definitely a lethal here, but I just ran out of time. Literally had just no time left on my clock. Yeah, there was 1000% a lethal here. I don't even summon out the... I literally don't even summon out Ray. I just leave this Utopia on the field. Yeah, so there was a lethal here, but I ran out of time. I literally just ended turn, didn't even attack with this guy. Alright, Myrmeleo gonna be searching for my trap card. Setting the trap cards, finally summoning out Utopia the Lightning. Swinging in, and then running out of time again, so just end my turn. I could've, to be fair, I don't even know if swinging would have been good there, because I would just summon a rocket from his deck potentially, but yeah, I ran out of time again. Alright, he puts this thing in attack position, which makes things nice and easy for me, so I can just swing in Utopia for lethal damage. Yeah, honestly, they really need to increase the timer in Duel Links. Over the last few days, just playing all the brand new decks, I've been timing out so often. Like, I swear, like, half my losses at this point are just to me timing out, trying to think about what all the new cards do, and trying to think about the best ways to use them. But anyway. Alright. Up against Shea Obsidian. Alright. Raiders Revolution. He's got a pretty decent opening hand, actually. So he's gonna do a bit of a weird setup. I think he's going for the a different version of Raid Raptor. He's going for the basing around the rank 6 popping card. So he's gonna set Atlantis on the field and then just pass the turn on some back row. Alright, so here's my Mantis. You can activate his Knight's Claw to negate it, which is very annoying. But thankfully it was a trap card used, so I can summon out my boss monster. Lancia to defend. Alright, I left a spot open on purpose because my opponent's special summons. I can equip something to it. Want to make sure there was a spot available to do that if I wanted to. Alright, flips it face up. I'm going to activate my Thrill Train. He's going to chain his Unbreakable Mind. Banishing his card so he can't potentially put it in the graveyard to use it. Flipping his card face down, and he summons out his Falcon. Alright, thankfully we have a negate for the Falcon. But what I didn't know is this card actually summons out a card when destroyed, so I nearly died here. That's fine. Just 1300 life points, no biggie. Alright, Dionaea reviving. These two then become the Excess on Knight, nuking the whole field. You're going to get a lot of value out of this card, by the way. A shit ton of value in this deck. Because the cool thing you can do with the deck is you get one of your Traptrix monsters on the field, your opponent doesn't do anything to it because it's just like, oh, it's just a simple forcing under attack monster or something. You activate your skill, place one on the field, your opponent can't respond to that, instantly make this card, and then you have a quick effect, just nuke the field, and your opponent just, yeah, has to respond just to the nuke effects. They can't just stop you going for the effect, so a lot of value from this card. You should definitely pick it up if you're playing this deck. Alright. So he's going to try to rank up, which is not really going to matter too much to me, because his field's going to go bye-bye. Alright, and then from here, he's in a very bad spot. So I'm going to set my trap hole, and we're good. Oh, my, serial train, and we're just good to go. Even drawing into another I really need to pronounce this card correctly. Arklekino. Close enough. Alright, Mantis is going to be searching. Yeah, this game's over here. I don't know why he hasn't left yet. Could even set another trap, banish this card, set one of my trap holes. I could do so much here. I could summon that card, then tribute it, set more trap holes. Oh my goodness. Alright, so up to I Surrender, I think? I think we're on the up to I Surrender? I think so. Alright. This might be another Raid Raptor player. Oh yeah. Alright, this replay was a bit of a quick one. This was, yeah, this was kind of funny. So prepare yourself for this replay. Blink and you might miss it. So opponent's going to use his skill, grab his spell card, put his trap card on the field. He then decides to immediately activate the trap card. What a nice guy. Triggers the effect of my Arklekino, or whatever the fuck this name is. I'm just going to butcher this card's name every single time I pronounce it. Summons itself to the field. And now my opponent tries to make a play on my... haven't even had my turn yet. I can already disrupt him. Normal summons a monster. I'm going to equip it with a card. He then enemy control... My eyeballs. Alright, moving on. Yep, there was a human being behind that player right there. That was someone actually willingly activated that enemy controller. Alright, up against another Blue Eyes, I think.
Duel.
Alright. Oh no, it's fucking Starry Night. Alright. So he's got his ceremony ready, have his boss monster in hand, and passes the turn. So Traptrix ground, putting a card on the field. Using searching for my card. Then we'll use my Dionaea to revive. So that's a pretty cool thing you can do with the skill. You can activate the skill discarding a Traptrix monster, search for Dionaea, Dionaea can revive that monster. Unfortunately, that's only really like a turn 2 play, because you can't actually do it on turn 1, the skill doesn't let you, but it is something you can do. Alright, there's my Execon Knight straight away. This is what I was talking about. My opponent had no chance to actually respond to me putting this thing on the field. Alright, activate a trap card so we can summon our boss monster, beat over his, and passing the turn. Alright, Tick gonna be searching for a trap card from my deck. His dragon's gonna target my back row. I'm going to shuffle it back into the deck. In response, he's gonna return his card back to his hand. Reviving it once again to pop my monster. This time I'm gonna equip it with a card. Not going to use the trap card here, because basically, as long as I have this trap card equipped to this, as soon as he tries to use the effect of this to return it back to hand to reuse it, I can banish it, so that's the plan. And additionally, banishing this thing on the field is really cool with the monster I'm about to summon. So, searching for this dude, Traptrix ground, putting it on the field. These two become the... Traptrix, whatever the hell this card's name is. My opponent then decides to use the effect to put this thing back in hand, which is very nice of him. I was just going to use this to revive a Traptrix, but if he wants to do this, that's also nice, because I can just activate my trap card right now, banish it, and because it left the field, it's now my monster. This becomes my driver. And yeah, he's just dead on field. So very good example of using this card's effect here. I was originally just going to use it to revive something. My opponent wants to give me his monster. I'm down for that too. Alright, final replay. I'm kind of sad I didn't get to show off any of the replays of the reason we're playing 3 of the purple Traptrix, whatever its name is. The one that lets you use your Traptrix from hand, or your trap balls from hand. But yeah. Alright, tuning in the sky. Alright, if we went second here, I could have used the cool effect of this, allowing me to use Treacherous Trap Ball immediately from hand. Should have been pretty cool to pop 2 cards, but whatever. Alright, up against what is potentially a tier 0 deck, as the community has been saying. Now, I don't know, it could be, but in this scenario, we gave him a good dickin'. Alright, so Tier gonna be searching for a trap card, grabbing my Horror House. Ice Dragon's Prison, gonna be banishing both the cards on the field. Summoning our boss monster from hand. He summons another one, we're going to just flip that one face down or banish it. Summons another card, we're just gonna flip that one face down. Alright, returns during the end phase. Banishing 2 cards to pop 2. Had Lancia, but decided just to wait to main phase to use it. I guess he just didn't know what this card did. Good on him. Alright, Traptrix Crown discarding, grabbing my Dionaea, revive, he's dead on field. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's replays. Hope you guys enjoyed them. If you didn't, leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Still have a couple of videos planned on latest box over the upcoming days, so if you want to see those, remember to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, hope you see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.